gender, politics, age, race, color, culture, religion, or no religion. I want you to know that you are welcomed here. We are a welcoming, diverse, and inclusive community, transforming lives. This is our thing, our mission, right? To create a world that works for everyone. So that includes you. And it includes you because having you participate, having you part of our center here, of our community, of our family, just enriches us so much more. It provides this beautiful sacredness that we get to share, we get to experience all together. So thank you so much for being here. I want to invite Erin up to read our announcements, because we got a lot of stuff going on here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Antelope Valley. That long, long, long email address.
Hey, everybody. Announcements for May 17. Fundraisers. Our community vegetable garden boxes are ready for spring and summer plants and fertilizer. Speak to Tiffany Lee if you can help. There you go. Thank you. Please note that your donation is for the garden fund if you're writing a check, and Tiffany or volunteers will take care of the rest. Current events. Calling all volunteers. Our community grows stronger because of the love and participation of each person who says yes to serving. We're currently looking for volunteers to help support our center and upcoming events. Whether you have a little time or a lot, your presence truly makes a difference. If you feel called to contribute, we'd be grateful to have you join us. What do we do if someone's called? Okay. Perfect. Dean Everson Williams will strengthen your mind and body with her yoga classes every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. A $20 love donation is gratefully accepted. Our monthly men's group meets on Tuesday, May 19th. That is this Tuesday at 6 p.m. The men's group is a place where men can share their experience, strength, and wisdom with peers, showing support for each other through difficult situations, nurturing relationships, and fellowship. On Thursday, May 21st, from 7 to 8:30 is Ecstatic Dance with Stacy Justice, a fun and sober place to freely express yourself through movement. Everyone, all ages, backgrounds are welcomed with music and sound that facilitates emotional release and joy. The cost is only $25. On Saturday, May 23rd, at 1 p.m., Reverend Jessica Fish facilitates a Zoom bereavement support group. Click on the art in the weekly email bulletin or go to the website for more information. Our Authentically Me Women's Group meets the fourth Sunday of every month. This time it's on the 24th, and it's at 2:30 right after service. Each moment in this group is designed to bring joy and laughter into your life. This group meets at the fourth Sunday of every month. Sign up for The Stories We Inherited, a healing meditation on family patterns and the narratives we are handed. Tell them I'm busy. On Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. in Friendship Hall, a 90-minute guided healing meditation experience that invites participants to look honestly at the family narratives, unspoken rules, and inherited beliefs that quietly shape their daily lives. Presented by Coach Afi. A love donation of $35. Stacy's Blue Moon Sound Bath is on Saturday, May 30th at 7 p.m. Sonically connect to the moon with crystal singing sound bowls. This meditation experience is a $20 love donation. On Wednesday, there's a lot of stuff. On Wednesday, June 4th at 6 p.m., the Spanish language study group is facilitated by Esperanza Ramos. Come on down and have fun. That's what it says in Spanish. Come on down and have fun. Sunday, June 14th is our Juneteenth celebration after service at 2:30. A celebration of freedom, culture, community, and joy. Bring your family and friends as we celebrate heritage, hope, and the power of community together with food and fun. Save the date, June 21st is Jamie Lula. And if you haven't heard him do his music, it's amazing. Award-winning singer, songwriter, performing artist, recording artist, and teacher will provide our music for the service, and afterwards we'll have a concert. The cost is a $25 love donation. Compassionate Care Team. If you know someone in our spiritual community that is having health challenges, is in the hospital, or in otherwise need of support, please contact Joe McLaughlin. Is anyone here for the first time? I think I know you all. Well, I'm glad you're here again. We have many ways to keep informed. Sign up for a weekly email bulletin. You can scan the QR code for our website. For those of you who still like paper, there is a brochure on the table at the back, or check out the bulletin board. It's tacked up. And experience a 2-minute tune-up with our practitioners after the service. Your silence and respect is appreciated during this time while leaving the sanctuary. Thank you.
Can we do something real quick, though? Someone has a birthday today. SP's birthday is today. So let's sing happy birthday real quick. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear SB. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha and many more.
Channel 4.
So this song is Swing Wide the Doors. And our doors are wide open for everybody to walk on in. That's what I love about this song. Here we go. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. We just repeat that. Swing wide the doors. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors and let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors and let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
That was written by Daniel Nemode. Yeah. Daniel Nemode.
Oh, Namon. Yeah. I thought it sounded familiar. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Hey, Sue, would you please join me? We're going to do the lighting the flames of faith. And Miss Sue has volunteered to light the candles for us. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for those who are as yet unaware of spirit in their lives and for the space we are holding for them here at the center. And as Sue lights the healing candles, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love. Thank you, Sue. Hey, look what I found for you. It goes on your microphone. It's the little phone thing. And for all of you at home, all right, well, today's reading I've been sitting on for a few months. I came across this in one of our classes and just put a big star next to it. I love it. I hope you love it too. So I'll invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable and take these words in, as I'll move right into the invocation after the reading. Words of wisdom from Ernest Holmes. Life fills all space, and spirit animates every form. It is this spirit in you, as you, which is the true actor in everything you do. But since you are an individual, even the spirit cannot make the gift of life unless you accept it. Life may be given everything to you, but only that which you accept is yours to use. Life makes things out of itself through the simple and direct process of itself becoming that which it makes. This is why it is written that the word of power, of life, and action is in your own mouth. That is, in your thought. Turning from every objective fact to the divine which is within you is turning from conditions to causes, to that realm of absolute being which, through self-knowingness, creates the forms which it projects and enters into the experience which it creates. Thus, the Spirit comes to self-fulfillment in everything. Everything is alive with God, saturated with divinity. So in taking these words of wisdom deep within, I acknowledge the divine presence, that divine flow of life that is the expression of God in, as, and through everything. And so it is that flow of life that brings us here today. For this community is a blessing of this divine presence. And so we come here to acknowledge that truth, to embody that truth, and to express that truth individually as each one of us, recognizing and acknowledging it in each other. That beautiful namaste moment where our divine presence acknowledges each other's. And so in knowing that it is the mind of God in the activity of today's service, I know that it is the words of God, the inspiration of that indwelling spirit that speaks through Reverend Espy today, fanning the flames of divine awareness within each one of us, bringing forth more fully the consciousness of truth. And so as I release these words into the field of this sanctuary, I see and feel and know that divine presence glowing as each and every one of us beaming the consciousness of God, the flow of life as we move through our day, as we move through this experience of God. And so I can release these words with utmost confidence, knowing that they are merely an acknowledgement of that which already is. And so as we individually embody this truth, we can acknowledge it with the words, and so it is.
This song is called There's Only Love by Michael Gott and Karen Drucker. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love.
everybody. Happy Sunday. It's so nice to be here. Oh, wait a minute. I need my glasses. Okay. I can see all of you, but I can't see any of this down here. It's like, I know I'm supposed to talk about something. But, I just wanted to thank everybody who's here being of service today. First of all, our wonderful practitioner, Renee Cornwell. He just is always in that spirit. Beautiful. I just love your presence, Renee. We have Sharon Clark in the back holding the high watch, and how beautiful is that to be able to fill this room with so much energy and so much love. Our music director, Stacy Justice, and of course our center singers, just bring us so much joy in this beautiful music. Our ushers, today we have Aaron and Marsha. Thank you for being here. And then back in the booth, in the sound booth, we got DJ Bonnie and we got Bruce, and, doing this whole thing with the Facebook and whatever and the slides, and I know that it's a lot. So I thank you so much for being here and for being present, and Sue for lighting the candles, yes. You're just like, no, I'm not doing that because of that. No, but, we really appreciate it because it takes a village, right? It takes a village, where we all come together and we all give of ourselves in the way that we can and the way that we feel called to do so, and that's what makes this service so beautiful and so real. And so today, this month we continue with this whole topic of divine doubt, right? And every week we've been kind of just moving through the process, and today it's the title is Carrying Our Doubt Together. And so we're going to get into that. But before we do, why don't you guys get up and give each other some love. Say hello. Say hi. Who are you? What are you? No. Because then we'll get into the doubt. I don't want you to have any doubt while you're doing this. Just say hi. Good afternoon. It's nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yay. I have a new toy. Isn't that wonderful? I found it in the back, so I didn't even have to purchase it or anything. It was right there waiting for me. I love that. When I started coming here years ago, I used to love that part of the service. To be able to get up and to say hi to your neighbor. I mean, lots of times the ministers will tell you what to say and what to say back and that kind of thing. But I just thought it created so much community. If you don't know anybody, you get to see them and share some energy and some love with them. And, because sometimes, even though, we're small, but we're mighty. And, we want to know everyone. We want to see everyone. And to be able to just say, hello, I see you, and I love you. And welcome home. I think that's one of the best things ever. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So we're talking about carrying our doubt together. Ernest Holmes used to use the words race mind, race thought, race suggestion, race consciousness. And today, they've kind of changed some of the language to move away from the word race because there's so much going on politically with what that might mean to someone. And so you may hear it or you might see it in some of the books because it's still Ernest Holmes, from 1930, whatever. And so the language is a little different, and you might hear it now today as we express it differently. And we're saying collective consciousness, collective doubt, the collective, right? And so that's what we're talking about today. And it's so interesting to me because I don't like the whole topic of doubt, And yet, we're following the topics for our Centers for Spiritual Living, who are wonderful, group of people who puts them together and suggests certain things. And as I've been moving through this topic of doubt, I think, I don't know, just the word itself, doubt, I have a reaction to it. So that just goes to show that that's my work, right? But the intention is that we are going to look at this. We started off by looking at self-doubt, right? And then how can we see where that is coming up in us so that we could recognize it and so that we can work on it, so that we can heal it. So this is what this whole month is about, is looking at doubt in different ways and what is coming up for us so that we are able to heal that. And in a collective consciousness, now we're talking about the collective, right? We're talking about this center is a collective consciousness of what's happening here in this center. Outside in the world, in the city, is a collective consciousness of what's happening in the Antelope Valley. In the world, a collective consciousness that's going on in this world. And so I'm going to try to just touch those few things and then bring it all back to where we are today. And so, I saw some quotes that say the collective inner experience of doubt is one of the most common threads that are shared by humanity. And it becomes especially obvious in times of great external turmoil. And so it's talking about political unrest, war, division, or social injustice that dominates the headlines. And so then we collectively either buy into it or don't, but we see it everywhere. And today I think that it's so much more prominent because of, social media, and you don't even have to watch the news. It just pops up on your phone, a news feed. Be aware of what's happening now. This is what so-and-so did today, and this is whatever. So no matter how much you want to not turn on the news and not pay attention, it's in your face everywhere, right? And so it's created in this way to create fear, to create doubt, and to be kind of at the mercy of what the collective consciousness is saying is happening in our world and in our life. And so that's what we want to be really aware of, and we look at it and we say, wow, is this really the world that I want to live in? Is this really the way that we're headed? Is this really what's going on? So I wanted to just kind of roll it all in, back from, okay, we went into the whole big old politics and the news and what's going on, and there's war and there's discrimination and there's, all this stuff going on. But let's bring it back to the center, so when we talk about spiritual mind treatment and we talk about our peace song. And I wanted to bring it back to this because, as most of you know, we've changed the words, some of the words in the peace song, right? And did you guys know that? Or you know? Okay. All right. At least one person knew that. So that's good. One person. No, but, so the peace song, the words to the peace song have been changed many, many times, by different people, different centers, everything. But we decided to change it here. And when I say we, there was a group of us that got together and talked about it. And my whole thing was that I wanted to get rid of the peace song, okay? Because I thought, let's sing something else. And then, of course, we were hit with this collective consciousness that, oh my God, the world is a mess. It's in chaos. It's in turmoil. Probably singing the peace song is the best thing we can do right now, okay? So let's stick to the peace song. And so we came to this decision that we were going to keep the peace song, but we were going to change some of the words. And I know some of you want to know why. You want to know why? Because after we sing it, every Sunday somebody's coming up to me or someone else and saying, oh, don't like the new words, I love the way it used to be. And so, to me, when we're singing the peace song at the end of the service, I feel like this is our prayer, right? This is our closing prayer. We are collectively creating this energy of love and peace, and we're singing this song, And so when the words said, "Let there be peace on earth," it felt like it was saying, "Let there be," somewhere in the future. That sounded kind of futuristic. That I want there to be peace on earth. So one day there'll be peace on earth. It just felt like it was something in the distant future. And so we changed the words to say, yes, there is peace on earth. And, Ernest Holmes, who was our founder, for those of you who don't know, Ernest Holmes is the founder of Science of Mind and Spirit. And when he describes science of mind treatment, which is what we call our prayers, we call it science of mind treatment. And so when we ask for people, anybody who wants a two-minute tune-up, that's what we're talking about. An affirmative prayer, a science of mind treatment. And so he says that, in this prayer methodology, that we are to imagine, to create a mental equivalent of what we want to see unfold in our life. And we create that mental equivalent and we claim it to already be that which we desire right here and right now. And so that's where that whole thing came from with the peace song, with changing it to say, yes, there is peace on earth. And I know it's challenging because I've talked to a number of people, and people have said, well, I'm challenged because when you look at the outside world, so here we are again in the collective consciousness, right? We can see that there's turmoil. We can see that there's some civil unrest, that there's some wars, that there's some stuff going on. It doesn't look like peace, right? It doesn't look like peace at all. But it's the same thing if we look at our bank account and it's showing like 2 cents. It doesn't look like abundance, right? But we change in consciousness, so we have to change what's internally in here so that we can experience it externally. So whether if it's abundance, health, wealth, any of those things, friendship, relationships, we have to first change the way that we see it in our mind, in our consciousness. And so that was the fuel behind the changing words of the song. And so, Ernest Holmes says, since the law is mental, we must believe it. And he writes it with a capital I, if we want it to work affirmatively for us. But know this, that the law is always working according to our beliefs, whether we are conscious of the truth or not. So if we're saying, there's just no peace on this earth, and yet I'm going to pray for peace, but I know there's no peace. I want to pray for peace, but there is no peace. So it's this confusion, and, we're using the law no matter what, and people use it all the time where, oh, I heard that, now they're picking up people, let's just say, that are Mexican descent, because they're Hispanics. And I'm not saying this is not true. I'm just saying that would create fear in someone like me or my family that we don't want to go into public areas where that might happen, okay? Rather than putting in my consciousness that I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear. I am a free woman, and no one can take that away from me, regardless of the circumstance. So if that situation was to happen, it doesn't mean that my freedom was taken from me. So I stay in that consciousness of freedom, right? And so as practitioners, when we are praying with others, that 2-minute tune-up, or maybe a practitioner session, or maybe somebody dropped a prayer request in the box. It is, we're trained to separate the condition, the belief about that condition, from the believer. And so it's easy to understand this when we talk about, let's say, illness. So if I wrote a prayer request that said, hey, pray for me because I have an ingrown toenail and it hurts a lot. So the practitioners trained to pray for me, but not to focus on the fact that I have an ingrown toenail that hurts. They're going to focus on the fact that I am whole, I am healed, I am in that divine energy of spirit that doesn't know any illness at all. And so they're going to hold that truth for me. And so that goes back to this prayer, right? This peace song, that we want to hold the consciousness that there already is peace on earth. And if we start right here with me, and then Renee says, oh yeah, I'm with you. I want to be with you, and we're going to pray that there is peace on earth right now. Or there's peace in our community. There's peace in the center. We are creating that energetic, right? We are creating something that is known to the here and now. I like that Renee said something about the class. You said that the spark happens in the silence. Is that correct? And so I was listening to Joe Dispenza, and he was talking about something like this too, where he was saying that in order for us to create, because we're always talking about creating our life, right? Creating our reality. And then a lot of people are wondering why they cannot create what they want. And so I like to bring this up all the time because it gives you ideas and where you are, where you are in your practice. And so he was saying that the only place that we can create from is from the here and now, okay? And from that stillness. So you go into the stillness. Why? Because it brings you into the here and now. It takes you into that sweet spot where there is nothing else that exists there. It's you and your creator, and that's it. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. What you're going to have for lunch doesn't exist. Nothing exists. There is nobody and no one or nothing except spirit in that stillness, in that space. And it is in that space that we create. And so it's recognizing that and working at being in that space, even when you're not in the meditation. To feel it when we're singing the peace song. To know that this peace song is true for us. So there was a couple of other ones that I wanted to share on because I'm all about this whole peace song. And right now, because I think it's a great example. I think it's a great example that brings it in, to where we are right now. I know that I also heard people say that they wanted it to say, because it used to say, family all are we. And so we changed the words to united all are we. And the reason for that change was because, again, the collective consciousness is talking about separation and how we're all we're not one. They are whatever they are, and the other side of the politics is whatever they are, and, the LGBTQ people are someone else, and, the illegal people are somewhere else, and, so there's so much separation in the world that we see it, right? But it's not true. United all are we. We are all one. We are all, we're all weaved together with that golden thread of God. There is no difference. The same thread that runs through you, that same energy, that same flow, that same life is the same life that's in me. It's the same life that's in Nick. It's the same life that's in Inga. It's the same life. So affirming that we are united as one life. That was the intention behind changing that verse. And so then there was one more that I wanted to bring up because I don't want to go through every single thing, but the words that we changed to say, the peace that expands through me. And it goes back to recognizing that it has to begin with you. You know, it has to begin with each one of us. You know, if we are going to experience peace, or we want to create peace in a larger environment, it has to begin with us. So how does that begin with you? It begins by being loving, being kind, smiling at people, you know, being more forgiving, just always in this moment, whoever you interact with, whoever you see, whoever you talk to, you know, that you are carrying that peaceful energy of God. And from that peaceful energy, when we sing this song, all of us together, we are praying all together that there is peace on earth. And I invite you to give it another 6 months. We just started, we've been doing it for 6 weeks or something? You know, give it another 6 months and see how it begins to feel, you know, how it starts to grow on you. And when you walk away from here, take those words with you and know that the peace is within you, that you're creating that peaceful environment within. You know, and you can feel it, right? You can feel it. You can feel when you walk in a room and it feels a little off, you know, like, oh, it's kind of weird in there, you know, like weird energy. You want to just kind of shake it off. And then how many people have we had here, speakers and, you know, that come, our guest speakers, and they always say, oh, I just love being there. The energy is so great, you know. And I believe that because each one of you is bringing your A game, you know. You're coming in here with all the love and all that wonderful energy that anyone who walks through that door can feel that. And that's what we want to create. We want to create it here. We want to create it at home. We want to create it wherever we are, wherever we go, whoever we encounter. And we start to spread, you know, like a virus. I wanted to be real careful with that word. Yeah, we want to spread it like a virus, right? Yeah, so it just keeps growing and growing and growing so that we can be that. We embody that. We walk the talk of being peace. You know, peace in the world, peace in action. I just loved when I was working on this because I felt like this is so great, you know. I love being able to bring in this whole thing about the peace psalm because I've been getting a lot of comments about it. And I just wanted everyone to know what the intention was behind it, you know, where it came from. You know, we didn't just one day say, oh, we don't like it anymore, let's change it. There was a lot of thought put into it and some time and finding the words and all of that. And I think that, who knows, we might change it again, you know. We don't know. But right now, this is what we're praying for. You know, we're praying for that peace. We're praying for unity. You know, we're praying to be able to know that it starts with us and that we're spreading it, you know, like wildflowers, right? And I know I mentioned to you before, you know, that whole thing we were talking about, you know, walking into a space and recognizing that it's a spiritual space. It's energetically beautiful. It just feels so good. And I know we experienced that, me and Jane, when we went to Chapala, to Mexico, for the CSL conference. And I think to myself, wow, these people really know how to do science of mind, you know. And it wasn't the location, it was every bit of the experience. So in the workshop, talking to the people, you know, how they incorporated and included everyone. They included everyone and everything. You know, I'm there, and they did a ceremony. It was a graduation ceremony, and I don't know if it was a minister or a practitioner, now I don't remember, but they asked anyone who was a practitioner or a minister to participate in the procession. And so it's like, oh, okay. And they tell you in the application it says if you're a practitioner or a minister, bring your stole. And so I did. I had mine. And so I got to participate in that, and it was beautiful. They also ask you if you want to participate. I participated in the prayer requests. So getting together with people and praying in the evening for people who had left prayer requests. It was this thing that you can feel it. You know, you can feel the love. You can feel the passion for science of mind, for this teaching, for what they believed. And I mean, I believe it too. You know, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm standing here. But you know, it's just like that thing that you can just feel it. It's like, they were just vibrating at this level that was remarkable. And I know that probably everyone in here has felt that at some point, at some time. You know, not only when you walk in these rooms, but when you go somewhere else. You know, maybe it's, you know, someplace that you've gone for a meditation group, or someplace that you've gone for a class, or someplace that you've done something else where you think, oh, this feels really good. That's the peace that starts within. Because, you know, the reality is that we're all just mirrors. You know, we're mirrors for each other. So if we can feel it, then that means that's who we are. We're feeling it because it is who we are. We're having others reflect that mirror back to us. And so the collective doubt is really an opportunity for you to be able to recognize it and be able to say, well, where does this doubt come from? You know, is it my doubt, or is it a collective doubt? Is it something that I accept as truth, or is it something that is everybody else's truth and I just kind of ate it up and drank the Kool-Aid, or whatever you want to say about it, right? It's that whole thing about cause and effect. You know, we talk about that here in Science of Mind as well, that we know that the effect that we see in our life, that there's a cause behind it. So, for example, if I am in doubt, have no confidence, don't trust that I can do something, so maybe it shows up, you know, the effect shows up that when I have an opportunity, I really don't take it. Maybe less opportunities are showing up for me. Maybe, you know, things are not as pleasant in my life as I want them to be, because it started over here with the doubt, with the self-doubt that I had about myself, you know, and it unfolded into something else. And so we don't realize that throughout life, but it's important that we begin to be very aware of what we're thinking, how we're thinking. And then when we see things in our life that we don't like, hopefully you're going to see nothing but stuff that you love and that you like, right? But if you see things that you just really like, oh gosh, how did that show up in my life? It's okay. You know, be grateful for it, because you know what? It gives you an opportunity to say, where's my thinking now? You know? And it gives you an opportunity to grow. It gives you an opportunity to heal. It gives you an opportunity to work on yourself. It's not about working on somebody else. It's about working on yourself and finding your truth and healing from whatever it is, this collective consciousness that we've inherited from whoever we inherited from. You know, it could be the collective of your family. It could be the collective of the world. It could be the collective of whatever, some group you belong to. So keep that in mind, that it's very personal. You know, it's very personal. It's very intimate. It's as close as you can get, because it's right here. It's in you. And so I'm going to give you homework before we close. And this is your homework, okay? We're going to learn how to explore doubt together as we continue on this journey. Because as we do that, we create stronger communities. You know, we get stronger in who we are. Because now we're getting rid of the excess, you know. We're getting rid of the stuff that really no longer serves us as we move forward. And so this week, take some time to reflect in your spiritual practice and journaling, okay? So be aware of the times when you hear something and you immediately disagree with it. And ask yourself, why? Where is the doubt coming from? Why am I disagreeing? Where is that coming from? Recognize the doubt that brings fear. You know, is it your doubt? Or did it come from somewhere else? You know, so are you getting involved with something that came from somebody else's belief and not necessarily yours? And just know that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. You know, it's okay to recognize things in yourself and to feel uncomfortable, because it gives you an opportunity to say, you know what, I feel uncomfortable with this is the way I am, and this is the way I'm going to stay. I don't want to change anything. But the bigger picture is that you have an opportunity when you do feel something to be able to shift and say, okay, that doubt is not really serving me. It's not really who I want to be, so I'm going to shift. And you create a new narrative. You know, you take that into meditation. And so using, you know, we always talk about meditation because meditation is a tool. It's a tool that takes us deep inside. It's a tool where we commune with the Creator. It's a tool that helps us to heal and to live in this present moment, because we forget to do that. We're in the story of the past. We're in the future, like what's going to happen later. And we forget that this moment is the only moment. It's the real moment. It's the true moment. It is your moment. Live it and love it. Thank you. So remember that if anybody wants to experience that 2-minute tune-up with the practitioners, with myself, with anyone who's here that's a practitioner, just come forward. You know, we allow people to kind of leave the sanctuary, and sometimes that takes a few minutes. But don't be impatient. Come up, have a seat, and wait for one of the practitioners to be free so that they can be of service to you. That's what we do. So let's just close our eyes for a minute as we go into prayer. Just recognizing that divine spirit. Just recognizing that magnificent intelligence that is everywhere present, that love, that law, that wisdom, that peace, that energy, that wholeness, the love, the kindness, the compassion, all the attributes and characteristics that we know to be of God. Because those are the same characteristics that are within you right here and right now. And there is nothing else. There is just this moment of life, this moment of divinity, this moment of love, this moment of being the expression of God that you were created to be. Stepping into that authentic self and knowing that you are enough, that you are beautiful, that you're whole, you're complete. And we take these opportunities as we learn to explore our self-doubt, our collective doubt, you know, all of the things that pop up, because we know stuff pops up. And we look at it with a lot of love and kindness, and we explore it. And we either release it or we work on it. And we know that even that is God, God in action, God pushing you a little more, saying, hey, have you seen this yet? Giving us an opportunity to grow, to unfold, to transform. And how beautiful that is. So just say yes. Just say yes. I say yes to all of it. I accept all the blessings that Spirit has given each and every one of us right here, right now. And I call it good. And I just release these words into that universal law, knowing that they are already acted upon, unfolding into the perfection of each and every one of us. And so I just let go and I let God. and together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Esby. Thinking about collective doubt. I don't ever doubt my iPad. No. I was thinking about, there's this song, it's called Love Always Finds a Way by Karen Drucker, Amy Bishop, and Gary Lynn Floyd. And this song, I feel, is our center singing to us. I have enough love for both of us. This center, we come here when we feel doubt. We come here to get filled up, to refuel, to remind us who we are. And so imagine as I sing this that it's our center, our sanctuary, singing to you. When you're losing your way, when it's too much to take, when your will is broken, I'm here. I can be your shelter, be your safe place to land. When your heart feels empty, I'm here. I have enough love for both of us. I know it's gonna be okay. I have enough love for both of us, and love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. If your future's unknown and the path's overgrown, I will cradle your soul. Don't fear. Though you don't have the answers, may not know where to go, what you need is inside you. Just trust and you'll know. I have enough love for both of us. I know it's gonna be okay. I have enough love for both of us, and love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. I'm your light in the storm. I'm your call to come home. I'm your beacon of hope. You can count on me. You can count on me. Oh, I have enough love for both of us. I know it's gonna be okay. I have enough love for both of us, and love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. I know it's gonna be okay, 'cause love always, always finds a way. I know it's gonna be okay, because love always finds a way. It's gonna be okay. It's already okay. It's okay right now. I know. That love is always, it's gonna find a way.
Yeah. That is absolutely beautiful, Stacy. Thank you. So now it's time for our conscious giving. If the ushers would like to come forward. You know, I just want to say we just appreciate all the ways that you give. You know, just knowing that our center, you know, is blessed by your tithe, your gifts, your donations, your time, all of that. And so for those of you online who would like to gift us, there's a little button somewhere on there where you can press donate. I think there's Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal, different ways of doing that. And so you guys ready? Is our affirmation up? Yeah? No? That's the song. So do you want to just repeat after me? Oh. Okay. Today, I give in love and joy from the overflow of abundance in my life. My gifts goes forward
My gift goes forward
to bless and uplift,
to bless and uplift,
fulfilling the purpose of our spiritual community.
fulfilling the purpose of our spiritual community.
Lives are transformed.
Lives are transformed.
I am grateful,
I am grateful,
and so it is.
and so it is.
Yay. So it is. And we know that God is our source and
Yes.
our supply, and we give from the overflow of abundance in our lives.
That's
So
right.
God is my source by Karen Drucker. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my source, joy is my power, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my source, love is my power, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Oh God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. Every little thing I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Oh God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything. Oh, every little thing I need.
Ushers? Boy, that's like doing aerobics, huh? Like you want to dance and move your hands and clap and all at the same time. Wow, it's a lot of work. But it's so much fun. So why don't we all extend our hands forward and just recognizing that God is our source, that God gives us everything that we need. And so I bless our gifts, our tithe, and I bless the giver. Just calling it good and saying thank you from the bottom of our heart, just knowing that we are abundant, we are blessed, and so it is. Thank you. So let's make a circle. Guess I can read from over there, huh? Right here? We're going to make it happen. Because God is our source. You want to come over here? And spread out a little bit? Okay. So we put our hands up to each other. We're going to bless each other. Repeat after me. We know who you truly are.
We know who you truly are.
You are a unique way that Spirit is expressing.
You are a unique way that Spirit is expressing.
We love you.
We love you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
We thank God for you.
We thank God for you.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Oh, ever take a deep breath in. Receive that beautiful service that we just participated in, co-creating, as we proclaim peace on earth right now. Yes, there is peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that expands through me. With God as our power, united all are we. And we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, peace begins with me. And this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it begins with me. And so it is.